I'm sorry. This is funny. Right, this is a true story. Right, today's story is about a ghost. A ghost that took my friend. This is a true story. Okay, believe it or not. Right, and we're doing these little Mandela tales. Mandela effects and strange events. All of these videos are designed for entertainment, and well, this is a story that happened with a man that I met in Spain. Right, there's a man. Okay, we'll begin the story. We'll begin this little story. This is a short one, but it's good. Right, I went to Spain once. I've been to Spain quite a lot, and we stayed in. You can stay in hotels, but we stayed in this other place where it's like a apartment, and it was rented by I think Romanian person was renting it, and we found it in Castellan, which is in Spain, above Valencia, and it was a big, nice apartment. Wasn't really marked from outside. Anyway, the person I was with, we found it, and then they rang to say we were there. We couldn't get in because the gates were locked and that. And anyway, this guy came down to let us in, and he was one of the tenants. He was maybe about 50 years old. The Spanish guy called Geraldo. And he was drunk, and he had a box of they have like cartons of wine, and he always had one, red wine, always. So he came down and he let us up. He talked to us in Spanish. And he said, "Hey, come on up, I'll show you around." You know, and so we went up in the lift into the apartment, and it was very big, wonderful. And it had a piano in the apartment, and it had TV, and around the TV was this massive bookcase, and the TV was built into the bookcase, and you know, it had all these bookcases, and then it had this leather settee. We had a nice place to put tea and coffee and that, and it had a big like marble table and balcony. And then it had a corridor which took you down to these different rooms, bedrooms and bathrooms and kitchen. And he showed us to our room. So we had a good room with ensuite and everything. And across from the ensuite there was a bathroom, and in the bathroom was a shower. And in the shower, when you used the shower head like lit up, and it had these balls in it. Anyway, this Geraldo guy that we met who was staying there, I'll tell you one thing, if you do travel, forget going in hotels. I'll always recommend it's better to go in a shared accommodation where you're going to talk to other people and meet other people. That's just wonderful. Because you know, when you stay in hotels, it's just you and whoever you go with. But when you stay in a shared apartment, shared accommodation, you know, you get to share the kitchen and the dining room with whoever's there as well, and you get to talk to them. So there's this drunk guy called Geraldo, and he always had a Spanish, but he could speak some English and pretty good. And he there was a piano there, and he was playing it, and anyway, he was drunk all the time, but it didn't really affect him. And he was always on these, not bottles, but these cartons of red wine. And it didn't really affect him, he said. And then we started watching TV with him and talking to him, because we were sharing the living room with him. And then we watched this animal programs, bloody lions and whatever, different species animals. And then I recognised some Mandela effect animals on the TV. And he's there. And he said, "Gremlins, gremlins." He went, "Oh, gremlins, gremlins." Oh, because some animals look like gremlins. And then he started singing, because he's a bit older than me, and he said, "Oh, do you know Queen? Bohemian Rhapsody?" I said, "Yeah, I know it." And he said, "Oh, I love the Queen. Oh, I love the Queen." With his bottle of, with his carton of red wine, and he said, and he got on the piano. There's a piano in the apartment, and he started playing, and I got up the Queen lyrics, and I started singing the Queen lyrics. I downloaded. I got the lyrics for Queen Bohemian Rhapsody, and I started singing it because he started singing it. I thought, what's he going on about? And then I realised it's Queen, what he was on about. And he got on the piano, and I was there. I was singing bloody Bohemian Rhapsody, and he was on the bloody piano. We had a right good time together. We were quite bonded, I reckon. I was doing well with him, and. Anyway, after that, yeah, me and the person I came with, we went out, and then we said to her, "Oh, yeah, we'll see you again. It's been really nice, watching TV and singing with you." So we went out, and then when we came back, he was there again, because I think he was retired. So I just loved being with him, because when you go in a hotel, it's not all that, is it? Because this is a house share. This is where you share the living room with whoever else is living there, and you get to talk to them if you want to, and it's really good. You get to know strangers and meet strangers. That's why I intend to go in youth hostels around Morocco or wherever, because you get to talk to people, meet people. You get to know them. Anyway, he got to know me quite friendly. And then in the morning times, he was always getting his bottles of red. Not bottles, cartons of red wine, and he was getting it all the time. And I thought, this is strange. It doesn't really affect him. He's not really too drunk from it. And anyway, I talked to him, and I was watching TV, and I was with someone else. I was with a woman, and we were all talking to him, each other. And he said, "Oh, he told me all about his life. He was he made his own. He was a security guy, and blah blah blah." And then after a while of talking to us, eventually he confessed that he's been having nightmares for 2 years. And I thought, right, go on, tell us what's happened. So he said basically for 2 years he's been having nightmares for 2 years. Same recurring dreams for 2 years. Not twice, not 3 dreams, not 10 dreams. 2 years of dreams. So I said, all right, tell me more. So he said, in his dreams, it's dreams from a past life of his, where he used to live in Germany, and they tortured him, and he had a daughter called Vanessa in a past life, and he stated the year and that, and he said he's researched it, because he's had these dreams for 2 years. He said he's researched it, and that actually went on in Germany, in some town in Germany. I can't remember what it was. A few hundred years ago, and it works out that his dreams were actually pretty accurate, which was strange that his dreams were accurate, right? And then he worked out what town in Germany he used to live in a past life according to his dreams, and he said, he said in his dreams repeatedly, people are putting his hands behind his back on a rope, like hanging him from his arms, some kind of medieval torture, and they're like not interrogating him. What did he say? He said he has these dreams where he's in Germany, and they put his hands behind his back, and they tie him to a rope, and they hang him, his body weight, by a rope with his hands above him behind his back. He says that's why he drinks. And he said he had a daughter called Vanessa in a past life, and he misses her and something. And he used to live in Germany, I think, and he said, and these dreams, he's been having the same reoccurring dreams for 2 years. 2 years. Very similar dreams. Even in the dreams, he was told that he had a daughter called Vanessa and all these other things. But in this world, in this life, he doesn't have any daughter or wife or nothing. He's on his own. So he was asking me, what's all these things mean? I told him, yeah, you've had a past life in Germany. Yeah, and basically I told him, do you know when people fled Spain, some went to Germany and that and whatever, and that's happened to him. So he said that's why he drinks, and I said, what else? I asked him, what else has happened to you strange in your life? And he told me this story whilst he was drunk. It doesn't really affect him, the alcohol, his cartons of red wine. But anyway, he said to me that he was going over a very narrow bridge in his car, and a lorry was coming towards him. All right. He told me this. He said, "Oh, I was in a car, and I was going on a bridge, a very narrow bridge, and a lorry was coming towards me." And I said, "What happened?" He said, "I closed my eyes. When I opened my eyes, I was on a beach, and the Coast Guard came to me and said, out." So the Coast Guard came to him. He said the Coast Guard came to him and said, "How did you get your car down on this beach? Because there's no road. There's no road here. The only way you can get, because this is basically a cliff. Then you're on the beach." He said the Coast Guard said to him, "How did you get your car onto this part of the beach? Because there's no road down. There's no access." So basically, the Coast Guard said to him, "How did you get your car down here onto the beach? Because it's like a cliff, and then there's a beach. There's no road down here." The Coast Guard said, "You would have had to add a helicopter, lower you down, and put your car here." So Geraldo's a bit confused. Because 1 second ago, if you remember, he was on a bridge, and a lorry was coming towards him. And he told me this story in confidence. I probably shouldn't use his name. He told me this story in confidence. So basically, I've said to him, he said to me, "What's it mean? How's it happened?" And it's happened to him. So I've heard these stories before, because people do tell me stories like this, quite a lot. And I know what's happened. A group of ghost people, jinn or whatever you want to call them, ghost people. They've seen him in his car coming on a narrow bridge with a lorry coming towards him. They've picked him and his car up and placed him and his car on a beach somewhere far away, whilst he's in the blink of an eye. That's what's happened. So I tell him that, but I don't just tell him that. I say to him, "Oh, the lorry could have hit you, and you could have died. So maybe you're back alive again, and you've been placed on the beach." And then he's gone. Then he shut up, because he thought, "Oh no, he could have died, and now he's back alive again on the beach in a car." So I like the guy, but I really like the guy as well. He's a really nice guy. He deserves a lot of good stuff. I really do like the guy, Geraldo. Spanish guy. From Castellan. But, that's his story, what he's told me. And I do know for a fact that in certain religions and spiritual stories and other places, there are ghost people. Some of them that can fly and travel quickly. Because that's how magic's done, isn't it? If you look at Dynamo or some magician like David Copperfield, if you actually ask them in person, "Are you using invisible people to help you do it?" they say, "Yeah." I asked one magician and he said, "Yeah, I'm using invisible Oompa Loompas to do my tricks for me." So he's even admitted what I was suspecting. Because they use invisible people that are not in our light spectrum. There's a light spectrum. Okay, how I'm going to explain it to you is this. What is a ghost? It's not a dead person. A ghost is another animal, similar to human beings, who have intellect, who have particles, atoms, whatever, further apart than ours. So we've got solid, liquid, gas. Our particles, some of our particles, like our bones, appear solid because they're close together. But then when you've got particles that are further apart, that's liquid. Then particles that are even further apart, that becomes a gas, like air or wind. So these are people who have further apart gas particles, right? But they're still human beings. They're not from another planet, they're from this planet. Well, they were from somewhere before this, yeah, but that's a different topic. But they live on this earth. They've lived on this earth for thousands of years. Now, because they've got particles which are further apart, they're obviously gas. And one thing it allows them to do is change shape. So one of these ghosts can take on the form of someone, or your relative, or something else. And they can be bad ghosts and good ones. Like human beings, we've got the ability to be good or bad, to scare people or not to, to do good or not to. And they have different speeds they travel at. Some of them can travel very, very, very quick. So that's what these things are. And they've lifted his car up and saved his life. So they've actually saved Geraldo's life. And they stuck him in his car on the beach. But I'm going to teach you some more about what these ghosts are. So I don't know about in the Bible, but there was in the Bible a prophet called Solomon. Now, and I know in the Quran, that prophet Solomon's called Suleiman. And he went somewhere, travelled on the wind or something, on a carpet or some flying carpet or something. And he had these spirit people working for him because he had the ring. It was a special ring, which I think Lord of the Rings movie is based off. The Ring of Solomon and Suleiman. So this prophet Suleiman, he went round telling the people there's only one God above, and he smashed their statues or whatever. And then there was like this woman. She used to worship something, and she was called Sheba. Oh no, wait a minute. She was the Queen of Sheba. Yeah, she was the Queen of Sheba. And she was the Queen of the city. And Solomon was a prophet, so like all the prophets, he went round telling the people, don't worship these statues or things, just worship the one God above. Because there's a day of judgment, blah 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 blah. Anyway, but the main thing was that not only did Solomon have birds working for him, which I think he could speak to. Did he speak to them or not? I don't know. Anyway, but he had these ghosts, spirit people working for him because he had the ring. And with the ring, special ring in it. With the special ring, you could, get these spirit people to work for him. So these spirit people could move at different speeds. So one of the spirit people said to Suleiman, they said to him, and I think he was in a different country at the time, they said to him, look, I can fly to the Queen of Sheba and take her throne, bring it back to you before you can stand up. Then another spirit person who was a bit faster, physically faster, said to Solomon, you know what? I can bring you the Queen of Sheba's throne chair from the Queen of Sheba. I'll rob it, I'll take it, physically pick this quite heavy throne up, fly with it to you, and I can bring you her throne before you can open your eyes, before you can blink. So what Prophet Suleiman does, he blinks. And by the time his eyes are opened from a normal blink of the eyes, this spirit person's gone to Sheba, took the Queen of Sheba's throne, and brought it back to him. Because some of these spirit people are very quick. Quicker than aeroplanes. Oh, stupid bell. So, quicker than aeroplanes. I wish I was one of these spirit people. So, maybe I can be. There's a way to do it. Yeah. So these are the spirit people, yeah? Some are slow, some are quick, some are tremendously quick, like we just seen. Some can travel hundreds of miles in the blink of an eye. Or whatever speed they can travel at. So, that's what these spirit people are. Now, in my personal experience, I can tell you, for a fact, no one else is going to tell you this on other YouTube channels, but I can tell you for a fact that spirit people are not dead people. They're not people that have died. I can tell you that for a fact from my own personal experience. Because there's a big misconception that you won't hear on other channels. Because other channels will tell you in blind ignorance that ghosts are dead people, which they're not. You know, that's not true. You know, if you're living in the countryside or whatever, you've seen a lot of spirits or whatever, you might know this. So my personal experience, because I've seen quite a lot of them, I've had a lot of good experiences with them, a lot of good from them. So, I shouldn't be saying this, but okay, I'll say it, because it's my personal experience, so I'll tell it. Okay, my mum, she's still alive and well. All my family alive and well, very looked after, you know, got to take care of them. I'm in the woods. So basically, this was a time before we moved house. So basically, I was in the house, and I was near the telephone. And the blinds, I was next to so basically I was next to the blinds. And my mum was in a pink dressing gown in the television room, living room, laid down on the settee. I would have sleep. So basically I could see, I was in like the dining room near the window. I could see into the open plan living room. I could see my mum there on the sleep on the settee. I wasn't paying attention to her though, because I was facing away. I was facing towards the window to the backyard. But the blinds are up. But then what happened was, there's a motion detector light outside, and it put the light on. The light out. It was night time, so the light went out. Sorry, the light went on. Motion detector light, and because I was stood where the telephone was, you know, I moved the blinds. As soon as the motion detector light came on, I wanted to see if it was a cat or what it was. So I was already stood next to the window near the blinds, so I moved the blinds, and I saw my mom, literally, in a pink dressing gown, walk across the backyard and she walked into the shed. Okay? In a pink dressing gown. That's what I saw when I moved the blinds, when the motion detector light came out in the backyard. This is my own story. Take care of her. So, take care of everyone on the street. So, and then without moving, without walking, with only just pivoting on the spot, I pivoted on the spot. As soon as I saw my mum go into the shed, I pivoted on the spot. Because I thought, wait a minute, is my mum not... I thought my mum was laid down on the settee. So I pivoted on the spot. I didn't walk forwards, backwards or anywhere. I just pivoted on the spot. And I spun round, and I saw my mum in a pink dressing gown, safe and sleeping on the settee. So I had seen two mothers. I had seen two identical people. So that just goes to prove from real life experience that spirits, ghosts or whatever they are, they can take the form of living people. But not only that, they can take the form of people and other things. They can change shape. They can take forms of people. Because they're malleable, they're able to change shape, some of them. And whatever's able to change shape, like in the Bible, the devil was able to change into the shape of a snake and trick Adam or Eve or whatever. So, if these things are able to change shape, of course they're able to change into the shape of someone who's alive. You know, they could easily change shape into someone you know. Potentially even have a conversation with you. They could potentially change into the shape of an alien. Or into another animal. Or into a snake, or into a person, or something. Because if they can change shape, what's to stop them from changing to the shape of a grey alien? Or a green alien? Or the shape of yourself? What's to stop them from changing into another form, or another shape? And if you could change shapes, or if I could, what's to stop you from not playing pranks on people? I could easily pretend to be Donald Trump. I could just take his form. If I can change shape, So who do you trust? And they can take the shape of people who lived a long time ago. One of them could take the shape maybe of George Washington. So there's no so when people say ghosts are dead people, that's not true. That's what they think they might be. But they haven't taken into account that they can change shape. And if you can change shape, that means you can take any shape. Even if someone who's alive, you can take their shape, their form. So if we look at the ancient Egyptians and all these people, hieroglyphics and other different religions, some of them had different shaped people with animal heads, people's bodies. What's able to take them shapes is these spirit people, ghost things. Some of them can do that. So that's just to let you know a little bit. Because we've got a light spectrum that we can see as human beings. We can see if I am a human, or you're a human, my viewers. If you're a human listening to this, you can see only certain light in the light spectrum. A lot of lights and sounds and things you can't see. So if I put something that's a real person, not in our light spectrum, you're just going to see straight through it. Now that's science. But there you go. It makes me laugh when people tell me that they've been abducted by aliens or things and then probed or whatever. Or one person was abducted and raped or whatever for years, or probed. But then again, it's these ghost people, it's these spirit people. Because I told you, they can take on the form of a grey alien, a green alien, a different thing. They can take on the form of people. So, of course they can take on the form of a UFO, or a spaceship, or an orb. The actual spirit people, some of them can take on the form of an orb, a glowing orb that moves quick in the sky. And some people can mistake them for UFOs. Because as I said, they can change shape. Not only can they change into human form, but they can change into the shape of a disc. Or into possibly, if you get 3 of them, you can change them. You can make a nice UFO triangle shaped one out of 3 of these ghost people. They can change shape. Because that's what they can do. Some of them can change shape and move very quick through the air, then stop, then change directions. And you don't know what it is, but I've told you, now you know what it is. It's just ghost people. They're called jinn, or genie, or they're called ghost people. But they're just intelligent like people, almost as intelligent as people. but most of them are good, so you'll have no trouble with them. But that's there. You know, now you've just learnt something. Now you've just learnt something. And usually on this channel, we're talking about Bigfoots. Usually, now a Bigfoot is not a spirit. Usually, typically, a Bigfoot is usually not a spirit. Usually, it's just an animal, a Bigfoot. But on this channel, we're talking about all different Mandela effects, all different Mandela stories and strange stories. You got any strange story that you want to tell me? Feel free to tell me. I'll leave a email address, and I should do more stories. I'm gonna end this here now. I've got a really good story to tell for next episode, so I'll leave that to next episode. So like and subscribe.